everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Haley and you're watching Between the Pages. I have a bit of a different video for you today, and that is I'm going to do my own round of Spookopoly. I did this last year when Becca was hosting it. She's not hosting a round of Bookopoly or Spookopoly. As far as I know, she hasn't announced anything, and it's now the 1st of October, so I thought I want to go ahead and do my own round of Spookopoly because I loved doing it so much last year, and I'm going to do the roll as you go method. I did I think 5 or 6 rolls last year, and I built a TBR, but I kind of want to do a roll as you go just to see what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my dice. I will not be filming it because I can't figure out a way to do that because I'm not tech savvy, or I'm not very good at this whole thing, if you've noticed. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll my dice and we'll see what we land on. Okay, so I got a 6, which means I got pumpkin carving. So let me see what I will have to choose for that one. Okay, so I ended up landing on pumpkin carving, which means I had to pick a book that has a face on the cover. So in keeping with spooky season and magic and death and everything like that, I'm going to pick Wooing the Witch Queen by Stephanie Burgess. This is the flipped version of my owl crate. So this was the original cover that they had on it, and I decided to reverse it because I like this other cover better. And on the original trade cover, it also has people on the cover with faces. So I'm going to read this for book 1. I'm currently still reading Songbird and Heart of Stone. I'm going to go read that as soon as I'm finished filming this clip and everything. So I don't know when I'm going to start this, which is another reason why I'm doing the roll as you go method, just so I have a little bit more flexibility with my TBR and everything. But yeah, I will let you know what I think about this, either when I'm halfway through or I have finished it. I haven't quite decided yet. So I have finished Wooing the Witch Queen by Stephanie Burgess. I gave it a 4. It was very cute, very fluffy, very swoon-worthy, very much like Pride and Prejudice period drama, so I ate this up. It was so good. You'll learn more about my thoughts when I review it, which means I have finished the first book of my Spookopoly Readathon round. So that means we get to pick book 2, so we have to roll now. Okay, so I got a 12 and I got 2 6s, which means I rolled a double. So let's see what I'm going to land on. I got Community Shelf, which are these little cards that have prompts and things on it. So I have to either roll again and complete 1 book for 1 prompt and 1 book for another, or I can pick 2 books for 1 prompt. Since this is Community Shelf, I'm going to go ahead and just pick 2 books for this prompt because these have prompts on it that I'm pretty sure I could fulfill with any book that's on my shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these up a little bit, and I'm going to pick 2 of them. So the first one is shortest book on TBR. So I will have to go into my Goodreads and sort by page number, and hopefully I get something good. And the second one is romance pick, which I'm excited for that one because that means I get to pick anything on my romance shelf to get to read, which I'm really excited about because there are a couple that I have been wanting to read. There's one that I just bought that I am very excited to read. It's another age gap taboo romance, but it has cowboys and stuff in it, so you may know just based off what I've told you what that book is. So I will go grab those 2 books and I will be back. Okay, so I have picked up my books. The first one is shortest on TBR, and so I went into my Goodreads and I sorted it by number of pages. And the first one that popped up is Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson. This is a novella set in the world of evocation. So this is kind of the backstory of how David, I believe is his name, meets Reese, or sees Reese again, and the whole conflict between why David doesn't like Moira and everything, because they think he thinks that their marriage is not solid, and they've basically created a tulpa in everything, like in their house. And so Reese contacts David, as because he's kind of like an exorcist by night, lawyer by day, to come and like exorcise the house. So it's a novella, and it's kind of mentioned in Evocation, like why Moira does not like David, because they didn't have a great interaction the first time they met. So I'm really excited to read this. I do have Ascension, which is book 2 in the Summoner Circle, which is what the series is called. So I'm excited to read that eventually, but I'm really excited to dive back into this world and like read this little novella. It's very pretty, and this is like the standard like trade cover like edition. Like this isn't a special edition. It's just like this. It's very pretty. Ascension is the same way, which you'll see when I end up reading that at some point. But yeah, this is the first book for shortest book on TBR. And then my romance pick is Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. This is the like new deluxe edition that they're doing of these books. I don't know the series title for these books, but they all are like interconnecting like characters, and like the world is interconnected, but they're standalone, so you don't have to read all of them. This one, the big trope is age gap and ex-boyfriend's father. So, I am fully on board, and it's cowboys. And if you've been on this channel long enough, I like my cowboys. So this is the second pick. I'm really excited to read these books. So I will see you when I finish them, or if I have any thoughts on them. So I have several updates for you today. I have finished Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose, and I think this might be like one of my new favorite series. I really enjoyed reading this. I love me a cowboy romance and taboo romance and everything, so I loved this one. And then I finished Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson. Again, this is a novella set in the world of the Summoner Circle, I believe is what the series is called. So like the world of Evocation and Ascension, which is the sequel to Evocation. And yeah, like what I told you about it in the first update is what it's about. So I liked it. I do feel like maybe it wasn't necessary to publish. I don't know, I didn't really see the point. Like, yeah, it kind of delves deeper into Reese and Moira's like relationship in like the first year of their marriage and everything, and like why she doesn't like David like at all. So I don't know, maybe this would have been better to read like before I read Evocation, just to give me kind of that backstory, because I feel like if you've read Evocation and like how Reese, David, and Moira's relationship develops, then I don't feel like you really need to read this book. But I still liked it. I like S.T. Gibson. I like the world of Summoner Circle. So yeah, I finished that one. And then yesterday I finished Odd Spirits, and I did my roll for the next book. I am currently ill, if you cannot tell by my voice. I was in really bad shape yesterday, so I didn't feel like filming. But I rolled a 5 and landed on chance. And so that's like a random book, like written on a piece of paper. And so I ended up getting The Infernal Devices Clockwork Angel manga, graphic novel thing. I did kind of know, I think I got halfway through, and I was like, okay, I remember all this. I kind of read like halfway through Clockwork Angel before I stopped. And like I didn't really care, because it was mainly because Will Herondale, he felt way too much like Jace for my taste. I like Jace and everything, but it seems like the more Herondale characters you read, the more you realize that they're the same character. And so I kind of got annoyed with that, because I was like, Will is basically Jace, like transposed. So yeah, I did enjoy this. This is kind of the way that I want to absorb the stories of the Shadowhunters, because the Shadowhunter series The original one, The Mortal Instruments, also has its own graphic novels. So I think I'm going to read those instead, because I'm sorry, like, the only person I want to be reading like 600 pages of is Sarah J Maas, to be honest. I don't really want to read a 600, 700 page book for Cassandra Clare, even though I have Swordcatcher on my TBR, but it's not in the world of Shadowhunters. It's a completely different world. So yeah, I finished this one today, and like I said, I really liked it. Now we're gonna roll for book 4. Ooh, and I landed on mood read. So let me figure out something that I want to read for that. Okay, so it took me a little bit to figure out what I wanted to read. I'm really bad at mood reading, especially like now since I'm sick. I don't like kind of want something easy. So I ended up choosing Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is a novella set in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This is about Lilith and Vale, who pop up in The Ashes and the Starcursed King. I thought about reading Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, but because those characters play a part in Fallen and Kiss of Dusk, which I do have the physical copy. I don't have the Outcrate copy yet. I did pre-order it. I just pre-ordered it this week. It's not going to come out till November, I think, or ship till November. So I have about a month. So what I ended up doing was I ended up going to my not quite 25 books that I want to read in 2025, because I'm very bad at mood reading and I am sick. So I didn't really want to read something that was like dark and like gritty and intense, because I'm sick. I wanted something easy that I could like easily just get through. So that's why I ended up choosing this. This will be my second Carissa Broadbent book for this year. My goal is kind of to finish the Crowns of Nyaxia series this year. So Fallen and Kiss of Dusk, read that, and then read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, just to kind of finish everything out before Lion and the Deathless Dark. I think is the 5th one that she just like released the cover art for. Again, these titles are very confusing for me, especially like when I've not read the book, because if I've read the book, then I know the title, I know what happened in that book. And I really liked where Songbird and Heart of Stone left off on. I have not reviewed that yet. I'm going to. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I just can't commit myself to a full novel right now that does not have an audiobook option. So no other Carissa Broadbent books for me. This is only 154 pages, so I should be able to get through most of this today, maybe do another roll. I don't know, I guess we'll just see. So I will let you know what I think about it. So I have finished Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. I really liked it. It was fun getting to see Vale and Lilith again. I think this would have hit a lot differently if I had read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King recently, which I haven't. I think I read that like back in April or May, somewhere around, or maybe was it last year? I don't remember. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, I finished this. Now we're gonna roll again. As you can tell by my voice, I am feeling a little bit better, but the horrors persist, and so must I. So we need to roll again. So let's see what we're gonna land on. So I got a 3. So I landed on Spoopy, which I know that this is like spooky cute, or like, you know, like a witchy. I think I'm gonna pick a witchy romance for this, but let me go look. So I'm choosing A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley to fit this prompt. This is the sequel to Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, and if you don't know what this is about, it's about the master demon who was over Oz in the first book, and the main character's, I can't remember her name right now, best friend. So I'm super excited to read this, because I know it has like an amnesia trope, like a la Eric Northman and Sookie Stackhouse from True Blood Season 4, or Book 4 of the Sookie Stackhouse, or Southern Vampire Mysteries. So I'm really excited to read this, because I really loved the first one. There is a third one that it's like Werewolf's Guide to Dating a Vampire or something like that. I don't know if I'll read that one, we'll see, but I am definitely going to enjoy reading this one. So I will let you know my thoughts. So I have finished A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley, and I loved it. I loved it just like I loved the previous book. I still don't know if I'm going to pick up book 3, but we'll see. There is a little like preview where you can read like the first couple pages of Werewolf's Guide to Dating a Witch, I think is what it's called, or Seducing a Witch or something like that. But yeah, I finished this, which means we're moving on to our next roll. And I got a double 1. So let's see. Oh, I got 2 community shelf because I rolled a double. So I have to pick 2 from the community shelf cards, which are various prompts that I have written down on sheets of paper. So much like, what was it, like the second roll that I got community shelf, so I got it again. So I'm gonna shuffle these really well and then pick the first 2 off the top. So the first one I got is Fairies. And then I got Newest Adult Owl Crate. So let me go pick the books that I want to read for these prompts. Okay, so I have picked my books. The newest adult Owl Crate I have is The Deathless One by Emma Hamm. I literally just hauled this, or just unboxed this, like not too long ago. So I'm actually really excited for this one because the premise sounds like something that'd be totally up my alley. And then for the Fairies pick, I almost picked The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. But there's one other one that I really want to read that everyone seems to really love, and that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I have read, like, to this point, I took the bookmark out, so my book is a little banged up thanks to my bookmark being in here for like almost a year. So I will be restarting this. But I know that people really love this series. I know that there's 2 other books and like maybe a spinoff in this series of books. So yeah, I'm gonna go read these and I will update you when I have finished. So I have finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I really liked it. I did purely audiobook this one because I feel like it works better as an audiobook than it does like reading with my eyes, because there were some points where I was kind of bored. Like, there's just some really boring parts, but like I liked it in audiobook form better because it kind of felt like a captain's journal, like that you would see in like a movie where they have like a tape recorder and they're like dictating like what's going on or what happened that day. So I really liked this. Again, I would recommend it purely audiobook and not so much physical. And then I just finished The Deathless One by Emma Hamm tonight. I loved this so much. If more of the adult picks were like this, I probably wouldn't skip as many of them, because I am going to do a video basically tallying how many adult and YA that I have skipped and how much money I had basically saved by skipping these books that I probably would not like. But yeah, I adored this. This is the first in a series. I don't know if it's just going to be a duology or if it's going to be a trilogy, but it is a duology currently. So the next one comes out, I think April or March of next year. I can't remember when, but yeah, I have finished this one, which means I have finally finished Spookopoly. It is now the 5th of November. Yes, the 5th of November. So I have finally finished all 8 of my books from my rolls for Spookopoly, and that means we have come to the end of Spookopoly. I am working on my Twilight Midnight Sun life and death video now, so I have actually started that. So that'll be the next like reading vlog you see. Of course, I have to review all of these, plus the like 8 that are currently sitting on my ledge. You can see like 4 of them right here, and then there's 4 right off camera that you can't see. So I get to add these to my ledge that you're just going to see in the background of like all of my videos for the foreseeable future. So yeah, that is the end of my Spookopoly reading vlog, and I will see you guys later.